Hi, welcome back to my channel. This is Kez. Today we're going to be sorting out some more of my wigs to keep or to get rid of. Just a quick rundown of the makeup I'm wearing beforehand. My lipstick is called Honey Pie. It's one of the Hello Kitty ones from Colourpop. On my cheeks I've got blusher by, most people call it Shine, but I think it's actually Shein, which is a Chinese company that delivers to the UK. On my eyes I've got Sydney Grace, which is an independent brand. And on my eyebrows I've got the same brow pomade that I wore last time, which is just a cheap one from Amazon. And my foundation today is by Makeup Revolution, and it's one of their XXL foundations. Okay, now I thought when I'd finished part 2 that I'd done with my monofilament wigs. However, I did find a little bargain, so I couldn't resist buying it. It is a keep, but I think you might like to see it anyway. This one, still with the tags on. Beautiful colour. It's a Belle Tress one, and it's Rose Ella HF in Bombshell Blonde. I'm going to show you this. The lace on it has been cut, but the tag is still attached. But I couldn't resist getting this when I saw it. So it's got a fairly flexible part, which you could pin up if you wanted. You don't want to see my pink underneath, so we won't do that. This does come with a really nice lace at the front, so you can hardly see it. Again, it's see-through lace. And again, it's that very lightweight style of wig that we've come to know from Belle Tress wigs. It's very beautiful. To buy new, I believe this one is around about 200 or more pound. But I got it a lot cheaper. But that mix of blondes with the roots is absolutely beautiful. And so I couldn't resist just showing this one off before I moved on to the next lot of wigs. The next wig I've got to show you is another one that turned up recently. This is a beautiful long sort of golden brown wig. This is from Style Icon, which I believe you can find on Amazon. Again, it's got the lace front and it all goes in a T style. I'm hoping this will be a keep, but this is the first time I've tried it on. This only arrived today. That's beautiful. I will probably just trim that lace back just a little bit more, but we'll see. I might, depends how it's sitting, but look how natural that is. That really is a stunning colour. So this is definitely a keep too. This next wig is one that I got from Carl Bembridge Wigs. They've got some beautiful lace fronts to them. I'm just going to show you now. To buy at full price, these retail around about £120. It's got the lace there and it's got the softer cap without the holes in it, and it does come with grips already into place. The lace fronts on these wigs is extremely nice. Now this is a straight black one. The only thing I did find with this wig is it's very, very shiny. That's not a bad thing, but if you wanted to dull the shine down so it did look more natural, you could probably do that just by washing it a few times, which tends to dull it down slightly. But I wouldn't say it's unnatural. I have been out in it and nobody's detected it as a wig. The hairlines are kind of unrivaled. They're so good. This did have lots of little baby hairs, but I've only kept a few of them there because of the way my forehead is. It didn't look quite right. But you could actually grip this one right in. It's harder for me to cover my own hair at the moment because it's bright pink. But if you see the clips that go in there, there is lace there and it comes with the longer ear tabs, so you could actually glue it down if you wanted to. I find that you don't really need to, but if you wanted to, you could. So this is definitely another keep. I think I own about 4 of Carl Bembridge wigs, which you'll see as we go along, and I don't want to get rid of any of them. I'm going to go through one of my other wig tubs back here. Now some of these are going to be more cosplay wig. The first one I've got here, this is my Harley Quinn wig, which has got the 2 colours in for the Harley Quinn hair here. Now this is from a wig company called Wigs fashion, and they're known for doing really realistic types of wigs, even for cosplay costumes. It's got grips all the way around it to keep it in place, which is great. I have bought this specifically for cosplay, and once it was all gripped down and I could glue it if I wanted, you could hire the ponytails and it'd be perfect for Harley Quinn. But also, if you didn't want to and you just like the style and the colour, you could actually just wear it down. It's really quite pretty. This wig I've had quite a while, and I got it from AliExpress, which is an online Japanese website. It's a bit like Amazon for China, but they do deliver to the UK. And even though the top isn't lace front, I do find it quite a natural looking wig. It's sort of a dusky pink, which doesn't transfer well to the camera, but when you see it in person it is. And it's got this very relaxed fringe that you can either side sweep, or you can have it full if you wanted to cut it shorter, or sometimes I just sit it a bit further back on my head and no one can tell. It's really personal preference. This one isn't too bad, but a lot of them have these fake scalps here that look really unrealistic. But this one is actually close to natural scalp, and you can actually pluck the parting to make it look more realistic, because no one's parting is perfectly straight. But I've decided to keep this one, even though it's one of the cheaper ones, just because it's a really nice wig. This is a Bobby Boss wig that I've got. It doesn't say what style it is on it, but it does say it's a premium synthetic. That does have a lace front, and it looks like it's got the lace part. This is another one I'm keeping because I love the colour combination. So you start off with those dark roots, and then it fades into like a blue grey, and then it goes into purple at the ends, and it does look quite natural. I've worn this a few times and people have asked me if I've dyed my hair. It does work with me having pink roots as well, because sometimes I could put bits of pink at the front and it just blends in really well. It's got really natural looking scalp because you can see your own through it. So that's another keep. This one is quite short. Now it's a purple blunt bob, but the thing I love about this is the roots are actually dark purple. So although in some lights it looks black, when you hold it up to the light you can see the purple in there. It is a lace front as well. Again, it's got the sort of standard lace cap. This does have combs all sewn into it as well. It's easy for keeping on. And it really is quite nice because you can throw it on and go. Just a quick flick and you're good to go. Now on mine, I did cut these two bits here shorter. That's just to give it a little bit of a fringe, because when it was completely straight, I think it's shown the lace a lot more. Whereas now, because it's got little bits on, it's a bit easier to hide. But the colour mix is beautiful. They've took some of that purple and mixed it in with the roots as well to give it a really natural look. Doesn't shed lots either. It's probably one of my favourites. You'll hear me say that a lot because pretty much they're all my favourites. I have sold about 10 wigs, so I am actually doing well with the selling. But I have a lot. This one's beautiful. This is a red one. Now, it's got 2 shades of red in it. I don't know if you can see from the camera, but it's a dark red and it's got a lighter red in the centre, which is just underneath. So it's almost like glow lights. This one is a Hair by Miss Tress's wig, and I really do like the quality of the Miss Tress's wig. They are known for people that do drag. They like to wear them a lot. It's also quite popular in most wig wearing communities. It's not a brand that's as well known by people that wear them for hair loss and things like that, because some people do class them as cosplay wigs, but they do still look really natural and the colours are always stunning. And with a tiny bit of a brush you can pretty much pop them on and go. I have trimmed the fringe on this one a bit, but I've kept it longer, so that way if I ever did decide to sell it, the previous owner could trim it, but I don't think I will be. You can, there you go. You can see there the lighter red underneath. Picks it up now. So when you're moving around, it looks like a mix of red. Really quite pretty. And I love the way that the fringe is styled all the way around. I'm not responsible for that. It did kind of come like that, but I just trimmed it up a little bit. But that's another keep. Now this one is from a website called Keshley Head Shop. Keshley Wigs have been going for a little while now, and she is known for giving beautiful wigs that both natural looking lace fronts and also cosplay type wigs. There's a range, there's something for everyone. This one is called Amethyst Geode, and it starts off with a darker root and then fades into purple. It looks to me like it's got 2 shades of purple mixed into it. This one doesn't have lace, but it does have the fringe or bangs, whichever you want to call it. But it's a really pretty purple wig. I have actually been out in this wig before in public and no one's commented on it being a wig. I do think possibly with the fake scalps, I'm slightly more aware of them than most people because I wear wigs, and I think anybody that wear wigs, it will be slightly more obvious too. But I do think that if you're around people that generally don't wear wigs, they probably wouldn't even give it a second look. You can actually change the parts by adding colour to it. So you could put your own foundation on there if you wanted, just to make it look a bit more closer to your own skin colour. So I'll be keeping that one. This one is from Lush Wigs, and I got it in the Lush Wigs Lucky Dip. Now when you have Lucky Dip from Lush, it can be old styles that discontinued, just some of the new ones that they decided to put in, or it can be ones that are have quality defects that would be fine for our standards, but to the website they wouldn't class them as perfect. It usually retails for between £25 and £30. And if you don't mind a variety of colours, it's worth trying. They also do one for neutrals as well, and I think they usually do a lace front and a non-lace front one. So this one, I don't know if it is the Hot Topic one, but it's a very similar style to their Hot Topic wig. It could even be that one, I don't know, because I didn't have the original. But this is kind of like it does look a bit red, but in person you can see that it's more of an orange shade on one side, and then it's black on the other, like a burnt orange. But again, it's got a fringe, and so because of that, I don't mind the fact that it's not lace as much. I have trimmed the fringe a little bit to give it sort of a more feathery appearance, because I don't like thick blocky fringes on me. It does again have that fake scalp, but on this I think the fault is probably that it goes right to the scalp, so there isn't any scalp showing at all. But to me that's not a problem because I don't like the fake scalps anyway. So that's a dress up keep wig. This next one, I don't know the brand, so I'm not sure where it came from. They did do a similar style on Lush Wigs, but I know that this one isn't a Lush wig because the Lush wig had a slight lace part and this one doesn't. This is another one in the style of Harley Quinn, but from one of the later films that she did, where her hair changes from the blue and pink that we know to red and black, which is more like the traditional colours of Harley Quinn. So again, this one is more for cosplay rather than as an everyday wig. So she has these little ponies in both sides. This is like an inky blue version, but you could still use it for the cosplay. It is, you can tell it's a cosplay wig by the colourings and things. It is literally just meant for fun. But that's fine because that's what I'm using that one for. So when I do my Harley Quinn cosplay, I will make it look better as well. It's just, I'm just throwing them on to show you. This is another Lush wig. I honestly can't remember the style, but I know it's one of their older ones. It's a split wig. So it's split between sort of a black, navy black and duck egg blue. I like the fact that the colours tend to mix in together if you want them to. So you can actually intermingle them if you wanted. Or you could make it a straight sort of quarter split, because this bit comes over slightly. But I think it's beautiful. It looks really nice on. and it's definitely a keep. I've got a bit of a soft spot for goth wigs and bright coloured wigs. Because I like to dye my hair bright colours, but to keep changing it so frequently, it would damage my hair. So the beauty about having the wigs is that I can change it to the colours I want instantly. And the thing with blues is they are a nightmare to get out if you dye your actual hair. Whereas this, I can wear it for a day and off it goes. This is another Lush wig. This one is called Lullaby. Again, it is more of a cosplay style, as in the scalp isn't horrendously realistic. But if you don't mind people knowing that you wear wigs, it doesn't really matter. It's a well-known fact with people I know that I wear wigs for fun, and so it doesn't matter. The only reason I'm saying that is that if you are really sensitive about people noticing, it's good to know which ones you think they'd notice and which ones they wouldn't. So that's the only reason I'm mentioning that. There's absolutely nothing wrong with them not looking as realistic, but there are two categories of wigs. You've got your cosplay ones, which look great but aren't generally too realistic, but a lot of people wear them anyway. And then you've got the ones that look like real hair, so that if you suffered from hair loss and you really needed to emphasize that by hiding it, then that option is there for you as well. Neither is right or wrong, but I'm just showing you the option between both. The good thing about these is they are heat resistant, so I can straighten this fringe a little. It does look a little bit flat because it's been sitting in the bag for quite some time. This one is a hair cube wig, but I think I got it from Shein. But when it came, it did have the tag on it to say that it was hair cube, which for some reason I haven't taken off yet. I don't know why. The other thing that I really love is split wigs as well. I have sort of a bit of a soft spot for wigs that are split colours. And I really like this one. So it splits between black and like a honey colour. I have trimmed the fringe a little bit on this one, because fringes tend to be too long when they come on me. They do that on purpose so that you can trim it to the shape of your head. Because I've got quite a small head, I usually have to take quite a lot off. I usually try and leave them a little bit longer and sit them higher just in case I sell them on, which gives the person that gets it off you flexibility to change it. I love the waves on this one as well, because it's got very subtle waves to it. It's really pretty, and sometimes the colours sort of blend into each other, which again I really like. So these are all keeps so far. You can probably tell by now I find it really hard to let them go. This one is from Star Style Wigs, which is a UK wig shop. Again, it's not a lace front and it has got the standard netting inside. Another split wig. Now this one is split between grey and pink, which I thought was really unusual. This wig was horrendously thick when I got it. So I've thinned out the fringe quite a lot and I trimmed it because it came all the way down to here, and it's nice, but because of how heavy it wasn't comfortable to wear. It can be straightened, but it did naturally have a bit of a wave to it, but the waves were closer to the bottom, so it's only a little bit wave now. But because it is heat resistant, I can also, if I want to, put more waves in it. So I've left these little bangs here, which I cut in myself, just to make it look a bit more natural. But I do like that one, so that's a keeper. Another Lush wig here. This I think is Julep. This one originally came with the fake fringe on it, but I didn't like it, so I cut it. I like the colours, but I think I did make a bit of a mess of the cap. I did cut some little baby hairs in to hide it, so if I grip it, you can't actually tell if I style it properly. But I do have to make sure that I style it before I wear it because of that. But I do like the colours. But again, that's more of a cosplay wig, so it's more for just photographs. It's not one that I would go out in. This is another one from Shein. I've been toying with the idea of whether to keep or sell it. It's split between white and red. You can actually plait this one, which you can see I've done, but that's more for the convenience of keeping it stored in the wig bag. I'll show you what it looks like without. So that's what it looks like normally. Again, it's got the fake fringe that I don't really like, and I've thought about getting rid of it, but the reason I decided to keep it was that towards Christmas time I tend to do a lot of pictures for Christmas, and one of the themes that I like to use is candy cane, which is usually red and white, so I've kept it for that reason. I mean, there's nothing wrong with it, but with these wigs here, they have really long bits here, and if I trim them to fit the shape of my head, because they're supposed to be longer, unless I spend a lot of time straightening it, they just kind of float around, which annoys me. For now, it's being kept. If I ever find one in the same colours in lace front, that one will be going. I'm not sure what brand this wig is. It just says Sis inside, S-I-S. It is a lace front. It's got quite a good lace front to it. Now this one starts off with darker roots and then goes into this beautiful rainbow and fades into black at the ends. And it's another bob one, so you can throw it on and go. It looks really natural for a wig, and those colours through it are just beautiful. And if I had the time and I had the ability to keep up the upkeep, I would do my hair like this, but it would take way too long. But I do like to wear the wig. So that's a keep. This one, I can't actually remember where I got it from. It has got full lace to it, just round the front, so it's what's called a full lace front because it's ear to ear lace and not just the part. Again, it's a mix of colours, so it starts off dark and then fades into orange and then goes into a lighter blonde at the ends. Reminds me a bit of a phoenix. This is quite a small cap, so that's that one. I do love the colours in this because with that brown root and fading into the other colours, it looks weirdly natural even though it's unusual colours. And you don't see many with these sort of colours to them. It's really thick at the ends though, so at some point I may just thin out the ends slightly. Although it doesn't look unnatural with the thicker ends. It just depends how you like to wear your wigs. There's very limited shedding to it. There's a little bit from where I cut the lace. This one is from another one of my favourite wig companies. This is from Hey Space Milk, which is the name of a UK wig company. They tend to be known for doing wigs that are slightly different colours, so they're out of the ordinary. They do have nice normal ones as well, but I do like their unusual coloured ones, and this is one of my favourites from them. It does have the skin top, but it's worth it for the colours. So it's most of it is like a dark brown, but then at the front you've got all these nice green shades and red shades that all intermingle into it. So I think it's red, yellow and green mixed in together from the looks of it. But they all fade in together and they look really nice when you brushed it properly. Always worth sticking a little bit of spray in it. If you're finding your wig's getting too staticky, you can just take a heat defense spray and just run it through it and it just smooths it out. And it won't actually do the wig any harm. This is an argan oil one I've got here, because it will come out when you wash the wig anyway. But if you look at the difference that side to this side, you can see how a brush and a little bit of spray smooths it out. We're back with Lush Wigs again. Now this is again one of their older styles that was discontinued, and when I started following Lush Wigs, although I'd been with them from the beginning when it used to be geisha wigs, I didn't buy many wigs then, and so some of these styles I missed out on, and this was one of them. But fortunately I found someone selling one, so I managed to get it eventually anyway. I really love that. I love the colours. I love the greens and the yellows and the blacks. So yeah, another keep. This one is called a Treacle Treat. Now originally this was a lot longer, but the previous owner cut it, and when I received it, I liked that it was shorter, but it wasn't even, so I've evened it up a bit because it was wonky on one side. Really unusual colour split. So you've got that sort of very goldy orange, yellow sort of shade, and then the other side you've got almost like a salmon colour, like a pinky orange. It's probably more orange than pink, but that's the only way I can describe it. But I quite like it. I think it's a cute little bob, so I'm keeping that. The original ever comes back in stock, I'll probably buy the original. This is another one from Lush Wigs. This one is called Galah, G-A-L-A-H. They did 3 of these. They did a pink black split, they did an orange black split, and they did a blue and black split. And I own all 3 because I just couldn't resist. So the second there was a sale on, I got them all. Now these are very sort of flicky bobs, which are really cute because they flick out. And I really like that. It's kind of a bit manga style-y, like a manga style flick. But I think it's really cute. If you want really funky coloured wigs, there's 4 places that I tend to shop to get them. There's Keshley's Head Shop, which I've already mentioned, Lush Wigs, which I've mentioned, Hey Space Milk, which I've mentioned, and there's another one called Wig Warehouse, which is based in Scotland, which I haven't shown you any of the wigs of yet, but I will do, and they tend to mostly be lace fronts. Now this one, I had one in this colour and I loved it. It's like an ashy pink, and I don't know what I did to it. I think I tried to cut it and I cut it too short and I wrecked it. So when I found another one for sale that was the same with a lace front, I snapped it up. So you've got the darker roots there, and then it fades into an ash pink. So there is a very pink tint to it, but it's only really noticeable in person. You don't really see it on pictures, but it's really pretty and it's like a graduated bob. So I was really happy to replace that because I was quite devastated when I ruined my other one, especially since it was a really nice quality one. But it was when I was first learning to cut wigs and I just didn't know what I was doing or where to stop, and I thought I'd cut it right and then didn't look right, so I just cut a little bit more and a little bit more, and before I knew it, wig chaos. But that's a keep. I don't know the brand on that, unfortunately, but it has got the sort of lace part. It has also got lace all around the front on this one as well. Some of them don't, but this one does. And it comes with wig combs. If you want a similar wig, there is one by a company called Celebrity Wigs. It's a lot more expensive, but it's a beautiful wig, and it's also, I think, a synthetic and human hair mix, which means that it looks more like real hair. So that I would recommend. This is another Hey Space Milk with their lovely colour mixes. If you go on to my Instagram page, For the Love of Wigs, you will be able to see the names for all of these wigs, because I do have the names on there. This is not lace front either, but it's a beautiful colour. So you've got that pink that fades into the green and yellow and then back into pink. I've honestly never seen as many unusual colour splits as they tend to do on Hey Space Milk, and that's what drew me to the site to start with. And I will say that the owner is lovely and the customer service is excellent, so they really are worth it. It's one of the brands I will always support. Just a quick mention, if you did want to get a wig from the Keshley Head Shop, and I will show you some of the quality lace fronts as well, if you put in my code KEZ10, all capitals, KEZ10, you get 10% off.